Hello guys, TavHD here and welcome back to another video, and today we'll be taking a look at my current data storage situation. And I thought I would make this video today because hopefully soon I should be making some changes to it. But yeah, today we'll just be taking a look at how my data is currently stored and discussing how I will be changing that, hopefully in the near future. First off, let's talk about what's on the desk. So there's two drives there and also the TerraMaster RAID enclosure I unboxed a while back. So let's start off with this little portable drive. This is a Toshiba 500GB drive. It's currently partitioned into two 250GB partitions. One partition has the Time Machine backup for my 2009 MacBook, and the other partition is for my 2015 MacBook Pro. Now my MacBook Pro part on here is full, and I've not actually done a Time Machine backup on that machine for about a year now, so before I install the new OS, which will be coming out probably in about a month, I definitely want to do a backup. So this drive is full, so I will be using this drive instead for Time Machine backups. This is a 2TB Seagate drive. I believe it's one of their expansion drives. I've had that one probably about 4 years or so, and it has recently been formatted so I can now use that with my MacBook Pro as a Time Machine backup. And another thing with this smaller drive, it just would not work with my computer properly. It would not let me eject the disk. I couldn't turn off the computer with the disk plugged in, so I literally had to just pull the cord out, and of course that's not a very good thing to be doing. So this drive probably has a little bit of damage on it really, but that shouldn't matter because the backup on here of my 2009 MacBook, I've still got the original boot drive from that, so if I do lose this backup it shouldn't really matter. But I would like to get the backups of my MacBook Pro off here and put them onto this new drive before I start backing up onto it. So that's something I'm going to have to do quite soon, but that's something I'm quite excited to do because I don't like not having a backup. So this drive here, which is going to become my Time Machine backup, I mentioned that it's recently been formatted, and that's because I have repurposed the used drives that I bought from CEX. So if you haven't seen the video, I bought two 500GB WD Blues. They were used, they're both quite old drives, but I've had them a little while now and they still seem to be working just fine. So if I move you closer to the monitor, I will discuss exactly what is on those two drives. Okay, so this is the This PC window on my file server. This of course is the repurposed CEX gaming PC with the Ryzen 5 2400G. I've made a couple of videos about this, but this is the This PC section, and the first drive is of course the boot drive, but then the next two are the ones I want to talk about. So those are the two WD used drives. They were in RAID 1, and I was using them at one point as a surveillance system on this computer, so the video that was being recorded would be saved to those drives. And then I also used them in RAID 1 to store my media, so DVDs and CD files and things like that. But recently I have got rid of the RAID on them and just put them back as single drives, and right now I've got some quite interesting things going on them. So if you can read, the first one is called YT Archive 1 2014 to 2017, and on that disk is all of the YouTube videos I made between 2014 and 2017, so pretty self-explanatory, and there is 302GB of free space on that one. And the second one is YT Archive 2, that is from 2018 to 2019, so on that one there is 2018 and 2019's videos that I made. So those are now on these discs, and they were on the 2TB Seagate. I thought I might as well use these drives for something. I didn't want to trust them with lots of important data. Now this data that I've put onto these two drives is replicated somewhere else, so that's not something that needs to be worried about right now, and we'll discuss that other drive in a little while. But there is another one connected to this computer and that is a 1TB Seagate. It's a 2.5-inch drive. It's an external one. I've had that one probably out 6 years, but right now it is configured as a backup for my main computer. So right now it's just a standard Windows backup, and every day or whenever when this server computer's turned on, my PC just backs up all the files off its internal boot drive and its games SSD onto this 1TB. I've not used up too much space yet, but because there is 1TB, that should be enough to back up both of the drives in there, even once they're both full, because the capacity of both of the drives don't even come to 1TB. So yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so this is my main PC, the Ryzen 5 3600 build. Apologies about the cables going everywhere. I had to do some changes to my setup which I'm not too happy about, but I didn't really have much choice. So the drive connected to this computer, you can see it just here, that is a 4TB drive, and that is a 4TB Seagate Expansion Plus or something, I'm not exactly sure. I did an unboxing of it probably about a year and a few months ago. Very nice drive, and right now that is where all of my data is backed up to. I've used probably 2.3 of the 4TB, so it's not full yet, but I want to have a bit of redundancy because right now everything is just on this drive. So if that dies, pretty much all of my data will be lost. Now of course the archive videos, so 2014 all the way to 2019, they're in a folder on here, but of course they're also on the server PC on the 2U drive. So if this drive dies, I've still got copies of those videos on the other computer, and if the drives in the other computer break, there is still a copy on here. But that is only for the archived videos from 2014 to 2019. For the 2020 videos, which of course I'm still making, they are only stored on here, and all of my other files, so documents, musics and DVDs, they're also only stored on here as well. So I do need some redundancy, and that is why I bought the TerraMaster RAID enclosure. I'll just bring that over now. So of course I bought this RAID enclosure, that was probably a couple of months ago now, and I said that I was going to hopefully quite quickly get the drives for this, so 2 4TB IronWolf drives. That is still something that I want to do, and hopefully that will be done quite soon, but I have had a few problems with this unit. Now when I first unboxed it, I mentioned that the fan sounded a little bit funny and was making a strange noise, but that noise got kind of worse. So I took the whole unit apart, cleaned it. There was black, greasy, oily dust in there. It was honestly quite horrible. So I've cleaned it all. I looked what the fan was, and I did try and find a replacement one online. Couldn't really find any, so that's kind of annoying, but the fan does seem to be working a little bit better now because I've cleaned it, so hopefully the fan carries on working and I don't have to get a complete new unit. But I'm going to keep looking for a fan, and hopefully I can find one and then we can replace it, because I don't really want the fan dying, because I don't want to have drives that overheat. But for now I think it will be just fine. So the plan is to get the 2 4TB drives, put those into RAID 1, so one drive in one in the other, RAID 1, 4TB usable, then everything off that 4TB drive in the back can then go onto this and have some redundancy, and then I will have the 4TB drive at the back as a spare drive, which I can then have everything off here cloned to. So if the whole unit of this dies, everything will still be on the other drive, and if one drive dies in this, everything is still on the other drive in here, as well as the one in the back. So that's the plan. Whether that will actually work out or not, I'm not exactly sure, but I'm hoping that it will. So both of these drives will be connected to the server PC, because I want to have no external drives connected to this computer. I want everything to be over the network, so this drive and the 4TB both connected to the server, everything off this being cloned to that one, probably weekly, because I don't really do much daily most of the changes happen per week, so that should be fine. Of course, this computer's backup happening to the 1TB drive, and then the archives of the YouTube videos, which will be on both here and that drive, also being stored on separate drives inside the PC. So hopefully, if one drive breaks, then all of my other data is fine. I want to be really careful. I've been doing this so badly for so many years, just having everything on one drive. I want to change it, so I'm trying to save it on as many drives as possible. And then once this year is over and I start making videos for 2021, I will buy a brand new 1TB WD Blue, pop that inside the server, and then archive 2020's videos to that, so I've got another copy of those as well. So this is actually quite complicated, and I kind of forgot everything I wanted to do, but I think I have just about mentioned it all now. So I'm not really sure why I made this video. I just thought it might be interesting to see how my data is currently stored and how I want to change it in the future. So hopefully within the next month or so I should get the drives for this unit, and then we can finally get some proper redundancy for my data, because it is quite worrying not knowing if I'm going to lose everything if one drive breaks. And eventually I'd quite like to have an off-site backup as well, but I don't really think I'm at that stage yet. So hopefully for now no drives break, but then once I get this it shouldn't be too much of a concern if a drive breaks. Of course I still don't want that to happen, but it won't be too much of a big deal. So I think that is pretty much it for this video. I think once I stop filming this, I'll try and set up the Time Machine backups on that 2TB drive, because that's kind of worrying me that there's no backup of my laptop. So thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it was interesting in some way. I will see you in the next video, which might be about 2 laptops that I've just been given for free. So yeah, that should be quite fun. Goodbye.